This is the official vlog of holding me accountable so that I actually read something. Hi everyone, my name is Chloe. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here today. So this is a bit of a strange vlog, I'm not going to lie. I am starting this on a Sunday evening. It is Sunday the 4th of July, and when I say evening, it is literally like 5 to 10 at night. So the reason why I am starting this vlog is it's, like I said, the 4th of July. June ended on Wednesday. Whatever you want upon ended on Wednesday, and I have not picked up a book since then, like not even a single page. I think I tried to read The Extraordinaries and read about 2 sentences and then put it down, and I just haven't had the sort of motivation to read. Well, actually, I don't even know if that's really the right way to describe it. I've been wanting to read. I've definitely been, like, in my head, all I've been thinking is I need to read something. I want to read something. I've got so many books I'm interested in. But to actually sort of physically sit down with a book and pick it up, I just can't get my head to do it. My brain has not been particularly kind to me over the last few days, and I am just struggling to find the motivation to do it. And I know that when I'm in this sort of situation, when I've been in this type of sort of mental state before, I have basically needed to force myself to read even when I've not particularly wanted to, because again, and I know people will say, if you're not wanting to read, don't force it, it's absolutely fine. But I think that the way I'm describing it maybe isn't right, because like I said, I am wanting to, I just seem to not be able to. So that's why I kind of need to force it and say, like, this is what you actually want to do. So let's sit down and read a book. Let's stop procrastinating with things that you don't want to do, maybe. I will say that over the last 2 days at least, I have been productive in other ways that involve my sort of bookish life, to try and make up for the fact that even if I can't sit and concentrate long enough to read a book, I can still be doing things that are helping. So I have filmed a lot. I filmed 5 videos over the last sort of 2 days, one of which actually went up yesterday because I'd not got that video ready. It was my wrap up, so I needed to film it after Wednesday, and yesterday was the only chance I got to do that, or was the first chance I got to do that anyway. So I filmed that, and then I've also filmed 4 other videos that will be going up over the weeks of July. And basically what's good now is that I am pretty much set up with content apart from vlogs like this, so I know that I don't have to worry too much about those on my days off, which means I can hopefully concentrate on reading. So like I said, I thought if I start this vlog and say, right, this is it, I'm going to start making some progress on my July TBR, I'm going to start, or, you know, just start reading anything at this point. I kind of don't care if I start reading July TBR or if I just sort of feel in the mood to pick up something else completely. But I thought if I do this and say, yes, this is what I'm going to do, then I am more likely to actually do it. Because I literally have started sort of planning all my content for July, and I have a spot marked out for vlogs. So I need to be giving you guys some sort of content within this. So that is going to be me picking up a book. So I think another issue that I've had is that I wasn't quite sure what to read. So I was thinking about reading The Extraordinaries, but then I just don't think I'm in the mood for like a fantasy type book at the minute. I don't think my brain is in the good place for world building, especially not a new fantasy. I think if it was a fantasy that I'd already read, which I'll come to in a minute actually, then I might have been able to sort of just dive in, but with it being something that I need to learn, I just don't think that's particularly right at the minute. So I'm thinking, let's stick with contemporary. It's been what's been working well for me over the last month, obviously, although I do think part of the issue as well is that in the last couple of days or whatever, I listened to some audiobooks that I didn't enjoy, and that maybe like threw me off course a little bit. So the book that I've decided to pick up is a book that is by authors that I know I like. I think it should be fairly easy to read. It's actually short stories that intertwine, so that could be easier as well because I can sort of break it up a little bit better. So basically I'm planning on reading Blackout, which is by Danielle Clayton, Tiffany D. Jackson, Nick Stone, Ashley Woodfolk, Angie Thomas and Nicola Yoon. Like I said, I've read from 4 of these authors before, so I know I like the work. The other 2 I really want to read, I just haven't got around to it, and also the people whose books are harder to find in the UK maybe. And if I can at least sort of get into the rhythm of this, like I said, with it being short stories as well, I know that I can sort of read one or two and then maybe put it down for a bit if something else suddenly grabs my attention, because I am kind of just going with the flow. I have had money go out of my bank this morning from Waterstones, which means that one of my pre-orders has been sent from the amount of money that's been taken, and also knowing what books are due out this week. I think there's 2 books that I pre-ordered that are due out this week, but one of them out on Tuesday, one's out on Thursday. So the one that's out on Tuesday is the one that matches the price that's going out, and it is Anywhere the Wind Blows, which is the 3rd and final book in the Simon Snow trilogy by Rainbow Rowell, which is a book that I'm very, very much anticipating. So that's another thing. I'm hoping that by starting to read this, just getting my reading mode back on track, then on Tuesday, hopefully when that arrives, I will be able to just dive straight into that. And as I said, I know I said I'm not in the mood for fantasy, but I think I am. But like I said, I need something that I already know the world, which is absolutely perfect because this is book 3 in a series I know I love. So that is the plan. This has been a long, rambly video to basically say I am useless at reading. I am filming this to make myself actually do some sort of reading. I mean, I'm supposed to be a booktuber. There needs to be books in my life, surely. So I just got a new phone and I'm very worried that this new, better camera is going to show just how tired I look. So we're going to breeze past that. But it is a lot later in the week. The whole idea of me doing this vlog and holding myself accountable definitely did not happen, because it is now Thursday evening and I have read about a chapter of Blackout, I think it was. Yeah, like 1 chapter. And nothing else at all. I've had time to read. I've just not had the inclination to pick anything up. It's the same thing I've already said in the clip before. But I have now got what I'm hoping is sort of the saviour book, and that is Anywhere the Wind Blows by Rainbow Rowell. So this is the 3rd book in the Carry On series, which is basically a gay love story about 2 characters who meet at a wizard school, and that is Simon and Baz. And basically Simon is the chosen one. The 1st book is all sort of the end of his chosen one storyline almost, so it's him fighting this big evil which is called the Insidious Humdrum, and it's also about him being obsessed with his roommate, and he believes that he's obsessed with him because he thinks he's a vampire. Actually it's because he's in love with him, and kind of goes from there. The first one's about that. The second one is very different. Actually, the second one is kind of the idea of what happens after you are not the chosen one, like after the big fight at the end. Deals a lot with kind of mental health and like depression and PTSD almost. And I really enjoyed the second one. I know a lot of people maybe didn't. I know that people expected it to be something different going in. I was sort of tipped off of that before I read it, which I think helped me to enjoy it a little bit more. But I'm very, very much looking forward to this one. I have heard good things about this one so far. It came out 2 days ago. My copy just arrived. And yeah, I'm hoping that this will actually pull me out of the reading slump. I am actually excited to read this now, which I wasn't before. I wasn't really excited to read anything, whereas this one, I can't wait. And we all know I am a sucker for a pretty book, so I will have to show you the beautiful sprayed edges. Of course, this is the Waterstone special edition, so it's also signed. It's also beautiful underneath the dust jacket. There's some artwork, and yeah, I love it, and I'm very much looking forward to reading this one. So basically that is my plan for the rest of the evening. It's nearly 9 o'clock now, so it's not early, but not too late. I can still get a little bit of reading in, and yeah, I'm going to be reading this over the weekend. So it is about 600 pages long, but I do have hopes that I might be able to finish it by the end of the weekend, and I will keep you guys updated. So it is now Saturday morning, and it is time for a quick check-in on Anywhere the Wind Blows by Rainbow Rowell. I am happy to report that I finally actually read something this week. I know I said I was going to start reading it on Thursday. I read, again, all of like 12 pages. I was very much enjoying it. I was just very tired. So I watched some sprints, some Patreon sprints with various people last night, and actually managed to read about 100 pages of this, which isn't that much for how long I was on the sprints, but compared to how much I've been reading, was a lot. And happy to report as well that I am very much enjoying this so far. So I think I mentioned before that people definitely had issues with Wayward Son, and I personally enjoyed that book. But what I found with this one is that The issues that people had a lot of the times was sort of how the relationship progressed, and what I've enjoyed a lot about this one so far is that, or at least the point that I've just got to, is that communication seems to be a big sort of theme in here, and there's already been sort of resolutions to things that happened in book 2, and just feeling like this is setting up to be in a better place for the rest of the book going forward. I don't feel like there's been much progress on sort of the general plot that isn't the romance, but I'm not too fussed about that because realistically that isn't really my first reason for reading these books. Like, it is the characters and the relationship between them, and then the plot is secondary almost. So I'm fine with that not really starting yet. Also, as I mentioned, this is a 600-page book. So if the first 100 pages is sort of just getting the characters and their relationships back to a certain level, then the rest of it can have more plot around that and them sort of still figuring everything out, but with the plot as well. I don't know if I'm making much sense, it's early on a Saturday morning, but I just thought I'd give a quick check-in. I am going to go back to reading now. I am going to the cinema today to see Black Widow, so I may not have the most time to read later on, so I'm going to at least try and get another 50 pages of this read this morning and then read some this evening as well. And I'll give you a check-in either just before I go to the cinema or just after I get back. But yes, very much enjoying it, and at least I am actually reading now. This is the goal. It feels really bad for me personally when I get to the morning of the 10th of the month and I can say I've read 130 pages all month. Just, something needs to be done about this. Hello. So it is now Saturday afternoon. I've just got back from the cinema. I went to see Black Widow, as I said earlier. I actually really enjoyed it. I am a huge Marvel fan, and it was nice to be able to see a Marvel film at the cinema again. It's been like 2 years since we last had one, and normally they come out every 6 months. So obviously pandemic things happened, and it was just nice to actually be able to see one at the cinema again, and also just great for it to be sort of like a female-led Marvel film as well, because we don't have that many of those. So really nice to have sort of Scarlett Johansson in the spotlight a little bit, and also Florence Pugh. I love her so much, so I very much enjoyed it. So that's my quick film review. On to my reading. I am obviously still reading Anywhere the Wind Blows. I forgot the title of this book then. I'm still reading Anywhere the Wind Blows by Rainbow Rowell. I read about another 60-70 pages this morning, so I'm up to about page 180 now, and I'm very much enjoying this. We're starting to get to the actual sort of storyline separate from just the relationship. We're starting to get to more of the magical elements of it now, so it's all kind of starting to tie together, and yes, I am really liking this so far, so I'm hoping that it is going to have a good conclusion, because so far for a final book in a series, it's doing what I need it to do. So the plans for the evening, I have some food on the way. I'm going to eat that, and then I'm going to read some more of this. I'm hoping to get to like at least page 300 tonight, maybe even further, and then potentially finish this one tomorrow. So I might update you later, I might not, but I will tell you my thoughts when I've read a little bit more. So it is time for update, and once again I did not update when I was supposed to. It is now Sunday morning. Well, it's not even Sunday morning, it is, well, no, technically it's still Sunday morning for another 10 minutes anyway, but I obviously have been carrying on reading Anywhere the Wind Blows. Actually, I didn't manage to get as much read last night as I wanted to. Lo and behold, as sort of normally happens, I plan on reading, I sit down, and then I just do not feel good enough to read. So I didn't really read anything last night, but I have managed to read like another 100 pages this morning. So I'm nearly up to page 300 now, and I'm still really enjoying it. It's definitely getting more into the sort of actual storyline of the magic, like I said yesterday, so that's getting more interesting now. I do like the balance between sort of that storyline and then the relationship stuff as well. It's a nice sort of in between where we're getting both of those moments, which is definitely keeping me hooked. I mean, I think I still might be able to finish this today. That's sort of how into it I'm getting, and considering that I've not read anything else this month, this is the first book I've really picked up, and I picked it up on the 9th of the month. The fact that I'm planning on finishing this in like 2.5 days really is definitely a good sign, considering it's a 600-page book. The only sort of criticism I'm really going to say at this point is that, so it is Simon and Baz's story, but there are also other characters. So we have Penelope, who is Simon's best friend, and then we have Agatha, who is Simon's ex, and then there are a couple of others. But those are sort of the main two that it's like set up for you to be interested in, sort of separate from Simon and Baz. And the issue is that they are both in it, Agatha not so much, but I don't actually like Agatha that much, so I don't really care. She's kind of been hit and miss throughout the entire series so far, really. But Penelope is quite an integral character, and she's got quite a big storyline that is still happening in this book, but she's not interacting with anyone else. So, like I said, I'm nearly 300 pages in, and she has interacted with Simon once in this entire book, and I actually like her storyline. I just don't like that it seems to be completely separate. I'm going to guess they're all going to tie together, but I still just think that it would have been nice for them to interact a little bit more in between, just because it feels like the Simon and Baz relationship is sort of being put over the top of any of Simon or Baz's friendships, which, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go back to reading now, and I'll give you another update in a bit. So it is now Monday evening, and I am just going to wrap this vlog up. I was basically trying to carry on and see if I actually managed to finish Anyway the Wind Blows, but I got sucked into watching the football last night, so I did not really read much more of this. I am, just over 300 pages in. I am really enjoying this book, and I think that's kind of what I wanted to talk about at the end of this vlog. As you can probably tell, this has not been my strongest reading week. This has probably been my worst reading week throughout the year. I know I've said there's been times before I haven't picked a book up Monday to Friday, but this is the first time that's really sort of lasted longer than that. It was 10 days pretty much before I got into reading, and even then, like, I'm definitely not at the pace that I normally would be, and I kind of just want to say that's okay. Like, this is not going to be the most interesting vlog. I don't even think I've given very good thoughts on what I've actually read. Like I said, I'm very much enjoying it. I know that I'm a little bit biased because I just love this series so much. I don't think I've explained that basically I read Fangirl, which is what this story started off in. So it started off life as a fan fiction story that the character of Kath was writing in Fangirl, and then this is Rainbow Rowell's take on that story. So it's not actually the fanfic, but it is sort of her version of those characters. Now, I read Fangirl in my first year at university, and it is about a girl in her first year at university and her sort of anxieties around that, and sort of social anxieties, and not really knowing how to sort of fit in with a new group of people. And that was something that I just related to way too much, and particularly as well because Kath is a fangirl of this series that is very similar to the series that shall not be named, that was, and to a lesser extent still is, a big part of my identity. I have mentioned before about how I feel about that series, but even with the complicated feelings, like, it's still very much part of my identity because it's always going to be. And the way that Kath sort of interacted with the Simon Snow series was very much my sort of feelings about my own fandom life at the time. So it was something that I was always going to feel connected to. The Carry On series in particular was something that I was always going to feel connected to. So I do think I'm biased when I'm reading this series, I will say that. But I am very much enjoying it, and I think most people, if they... because obviously you're only reading this book if you're already into the series, and I think most people who are will probably appreciate this one more than Wayward Son, because I do think it just has more of the feels that you were looking for. It's going more in the direction that you were hoping it would go in. That being said, I will reiterate again, I actually really liked Wayward Son, and I think it was a very important book. I think Wayward Son was about people not dealing with problems very well, and so far Anyway the Wind Blows is about communication and healing, and I love that. I think it's a nice sort of antidote to the trauma that was processed. So it's essentially Carry On is trauma, Wayward Son is the processing of the trauma, and Anyway the Wind Blows is the healing. That's what it feels like to me, and I really like that arc. I think it works really well. So apparently I can give coherent thoughts on this book, but yeah, I still have, like I said, 250 pages left, but unless something drastically goes wrong, I think I'm going to really adore this book. And that's a great thing, because we all love to read books that we enjoy, and I think that's something that I've come out of this sort of, I say come out of, it sounds like I've gone through a battle. I've not really, I've just been struggling to read, but I think it is a thing that I am noticing that I need to be a little bit kinder to myself, because part of the reason why I've not wanted to read has definitely been sort of just how I'm feeling in general, and I think I need to allow myself to just be okay with not necessarily feeling the most productive, or just sort of needing to take a step back from things, even if it's things that are enjoyable. Sometimes that can be worse when you're sort of not feeling like you're able to do something that is actually something that is just enjoyable for you, because surely that should be the thing that you escape to. And sometimes it's okay to say, actually no, I'm just not feeling up to doing much right now, and I need to take that time to just do what I'm able to do and just get through it. And that's kind of what I've done. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to have a little bit of a conversation about sort of just allowing yourself time to kind of do what you need to do for yourself at the time, because I definitely have been, since starting this channel, putting pressure on myself to make sure that I have read enough books to talk about at the end of the month in a wrap up, and that I'm reading things that I think you guys are going to find interesting. And obviously I'm like a small time creator right now, like there's not like I'm sort of getting this like ton of pressure from you guys or anything like that, but it is just me obviously wanting to interact with the community, wanting to sort of grow with the community and all that, and I'm just feeling like, yes, I need to be sort of hitting these goals or whatever. And obviously there's always sort of like readathons and read-alongs and all these sorts of things that I want to join in on, and sometimes I'm just like, I need to stop and say, actually, you don't want to read this, you don't need to read this, you don't need to read at anyone else's pace, you just need to do what is good for you. And as much as I sort of disliked not feeling like I want to pick up a book for sort of 10 days at the beginning of the month, I am quite glad that I didn't just sort of force myself to push through it and then maybe not enjoy the things that, like the books that I would have read during that time, I actually really do want to read. And I think if I'd have read them at the wrong time, it could have really, like, if I had to force myself to read them, it could have really like hampered my experience of them. So I'm glad that I kind of just waited until this book arrived and I actually wanted to read this, because when this came through the door I was like, yes, actually this is something that I want to pick up. And now I'm having a good experience with it, because to be honest, even if I was still feeling in that state, I wouldn't have picked this up, because if I would have pushed myself through to read other things as well, I might have been feeling in an even sort of worse mindset, and then I might have picked this up and not enjoyed it in the way that I am enjoying it now. So yeah, sometimes it's okay just to not feel great and to just take the time you need when you don't feel great. And yeah, I'm sounding really sort of like philosophical, and I'm sounding like I've gone through something major, which I haven't. Like, I've just been struggling, and that's fine. Right, this is a strange ending to a vlog, but thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry that it's been a bit all over the place. I also apologise if the camera angles and like the quality's been a bit strange all over. It should actually be better quality in places. Basically, as I explained earlier on, I have a new phone and I film on my phone. I'm not ready to pay for fancy camera equipment yet, and I've been trying to figure out the best way to film this. I've been trying to use like the back camera on the phone because it's better, but then it is also hard because I can't see myself when I'm recording. So I think I'm just going to stick with the front facing camera, but also this is a better front facing camera than on my old phone. So but also I think there's been some clips that were filmed on my old phone. So sorry if it's been a bit all over the place. This is just a very strange vlog, but thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff down below if you want to. This is a weird video. If you do decide to subscribe off of this one, I promise they are more normal. They're normally a little bit more coherent, really. But yeah, thank you for watching. I will see you guys soon with a new video that is actually already filmed and is definitely more coherent than this one. So I'll see you guys on Saturday. I upload videos every Wednesday and Saturday. And yeah, I'll see you guys then. Bye.